Do you use EI to supersize and grow your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about it today. We're focusing on emotional health and well-being this entire month as part of this year's Be a Better You annual challenge. And this year I'm streamlining and we're talking about the same topics for our businesses, for supersizing and growing our businesses. Why? Because what we do in our personal life, what we do for personal development and growth, what we do and who we are and how we show up has a huge impact on the success or failure of our businesses. I've learned a long time ago that sometimes when we're having a stage of growth and we're struggling with something, if I actually self-reflect and look, I am often the bottleneck, or our leadership team is the bottleneck, and we need to just get out of the way and let the people that know what to do next do their thing and help us grow and build and supersize. And emotional health and well-being is one of those areas that almost no businesses actually consider as having any factor or playing any role in growing and building and supersizing our business, which makes it an incredibly powerful strategic advantage to pay attention to that. Just like mindset, mindfulness, mental health and well-being, and spiritual health and well-being, and emotional health and well-being, and physical health and well-being, they all play a huge role in our organizations and the culture and the joint people coming together and creating synergy so that we can have a competitive advantage over businesses that don't even consider those things. Thus, the focus on emotional intelligence today. I'm going to share quickly the 5 components of emotional intelligence, and then I'll give somebody's example of how it helped them in their business. And then after that, I will share 5 daily different activities or ways to develop and increase emotional intelligence in our organization and in ourselves, and then in our organizations. Because if we're not emotionally intelligent, we're not even going to consider that it's an important factor in our lives or our businesses. So we need to convince ourselves first that it makes good business sense to improve our emotional intelligence. And then it's easy to say, okay, well, if I do this for me and it has this kind of an impact, what kind of an impact is it going to have on us growing and building and supersizing our business? Huge, by the way. So what are the 5 components of emotional intelligence? Number 1, self-awareness, understanding our triggers, our emotions, our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities and threats as well. It sounds like a SWOT analysis, doesn't it? We need to be self-aware as an organization in terms of how we're responding to things that happen in the world around us. Secondly, self-regulation. There's a lot of corporations that could learn better self-regulation when it comes to how they respond to different things that happen in the world around them, and that sometimes they just shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't respond at all, and they should stay out of it because it's none of their business and it's going to negatively impact their business. We've seen huge examples of that over the last decade or so. Entire businesses and industries have been wiped out because they followed the wrong path, the path that wasn't in alignment with making the world a better place and with making lives of their customers better. So self-regulation meaning how do we manage disruptive emotions and impulses? How do we all have them, right? We all have negative emotions. We all have situations that we want to just react to. And that usually, if we just react right immediately, isn't going to be the best way of handling any situation. So we want to adapt to changing circumstances, changing environment, changing everything, because the world around us is always changing. Third is motivation. Do we stay true to our goals and objectives, driven to achieve those goals and objectives, despite setbacks and things that happen? If you think you're going to do anything in life, you're just going to say, I want this thing, I'm going to try one thing, and I'm going to instantly achieve it, more power to you. But if it doesn't work out, what's your next move? We always want to be thinking, are we motivated? Are we driven and focused and passionate about the thing that we're trying to create in the world, supersizing our business, that we're not going to quit at every little setback that comes? Because I guarantee every single day almost, you're going to have something that doesn't work out according to plan, or something that changes, or some setback or obstacle or challenge or whatever that pops up. The 4th component of emotional intelligence is empathy. Do we recognize and understand other people's feelings, aka people on our teams, people in our community, shareholders, our customers, for goodness sakes? If we don't have empathy for our customers and want to help them solve their problems with our products and services, we're in for a huge uphill climb. Do we understand and recognize their emotions and how they're handling them. And then finally, the fifth component is social skills, our ability to build and maintain healthy relationships, our ability to manage conflict, our ability to inspire others and set the example for other people in terms of how we want to show up in the world. So let me give you somebody's example of that. I am going to give you Daniel Carter's story. He strengthens relationships through empathy. Daniel's a high-performing sales executive in a very high-pressure, high-stress organization. He's struggling with client retention despite having excellent closing skills. He's an incredible salesman. He can close anybody, but he was struggling with keeping those customers because originally he overpromised and underdelivered, which is never a good thing, but he learned about not doing that. He realized he was focused more on the selling aspect of his role than on understanding his client's needs. And guess what? If you don't listen to, if you don't understand your client's needs, yeah, you might close that first sale, but you're going to have a hard time keeping them long term. And what is one of the fastest ways to supersize and grow your business? Have people that know, like, trust you come to you over and over and over again. Some of my favorite business owners and friends are those that have had customers for 14, 15, 25 years because they learned early on that it wasn't just selling the first time, because those are the hardest sales to get. And the most expensive, by the way. It's having people be repeat customers for life and the lifelong value of customers. Some of those lifelong value customers are worth millions and millions of dollars to just one business. So what did he do? He completed an empathy training course focused on active listening. He made it a habit to repeat and validate customers' concerns before he ever offered them a solution. So before he overpromised and then underdelivered, he actually listened to what the customer's needs were, what they wanted, what was most important to them, and then offered a solution that met their needs to the best of his ability. He paid attention to nonverbal cues during conversations. He became an awesome listener, and the impact on his life, his client satisfaction scores soared. He doubled his referral rate in just 18 months. Beyond professional gains, he found his personal relationships improved because he was more attentive and he was a better listener and responsive to the emotions of his friends and family as well. So what are 5 ways or strategies to increase emotional intelligence in our lives and our businesses? Number 1, daily reflection. Spend a couple of minutes a day saying and identifying what are my emotional triggers and patterns. Guess what? We all have them. I know what mine are. I every day, not every day I don't discover a new one, but every day I reflect on and think about what trips me up and causes me more drama and trauma and emotional energy in life than it needs to. Because when I was younger, there were a whole lot more than there are now because I just let a lot of stuff go. Second is to have a mindfulness practice. How do we be present in our lives? Because a lot of us aren't always present. I think I spent about 2 decades running through my life and not actually being present in the vast majority of the situations and the experiences that I actually lived through. But mindfulness practices help us to stay in the present moment. Meditation, deep breathing, grounding techniques, grounding exercises, which I didn't know anything about. I never heard of grounding until after my sudden cardiac arrest, which meant I was 50 years old before I ever heard of grounding as a thing. And again, it might not be for you, but it turned out it's very good for me. Feedback seeking is the third practice that we can participate in that helps us to become more emotionally intelligent. Constructive feedback from people we know, like, trust, and care about to give us, that are trusted anyway. We don't even have to like them. We just trust their opinion. Peers and people that we know, acquaintances, to give us self-improvement awareness, to help us understand the impact that our behavior, our emotions have on other people. Empathy exercises is number 4, meaning we can do role playing with people that we know, like, and trust, or in teams. One of the best practice activities that I have used in my businesses for decades is role playing, practicing in different types of situations before they actually happen. So when it comes, especially in sales training and things, or leadership training and team building exercises, role playing is an extremely powerful role or extremely powerful tool by putting ourselves in other people's shoes, by trading roles. We do that a lot for role playing. The boss will become the subordinate, and the subordinate will be the boss, or leader and team member, whatever you call them, and respond as if they were that person, which often is very enlightening to both parties in the role, because it unveils assumptions that we make about other human beings that are absolute hogwash. And then finally, active listening is the fifth strategy that you can use. Actually, shut down your mouth. I'll actually bite my teeth together sometimes so that I won't say anything. So I actually 100% focus on the person that's talking. Watch their body language, watch their cues, look at their facial expressions, actually listen to the words that they're selecting and using so that you get the full message that they're trying to send. Because the verbal part of what people say, even though we might think we're listening while we're taking notes and things, is only a small fraction of the message that they're actually delivering and the information they're actually sharing. So today I challenge you to pick one of these areas of emotional intelligence strategies, one of these strategies, and practice it today. And just try it out. Try it on for size. If you're not using any of them already, try on something new. If you're using them, keep doing it and set the example for the rest of the people in your organization. Any questions? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, go out, make it an amazing, awesome day, and I will, of course, see you tomorrow.